The first time Elina Rollins found blood on the silk sheets, she thought nothing of it. The second time, it was in a different room. By the third time, she realized the blood wasn't his. And that's when her hands started shaking. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back 3 months. Before Elina discovered a secret so dark it would shake Manhattan's elite to its very core. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Now let's begin. Elina Rollins had been invisible her entire life. At 42, with graying hair pulled tight and hands weathered from 20 years of scrubbing other people's dirt, she'd perfected the art of being unseen. In her line of work, luxury cleaning for Manhattan's ultra-wealthy, invisibility was survival. The rich didn't want to acknowledge the woman scrubbing their toilets. They wanted the mess to simply disappear. Like magic. Elina was that magic. She had 14 clients across the Upper East Side. But none like Harris Schaefer. The 58-year-old tech billionaire had sold his company 5 years ago for $3.2 billion. Now he spent his days locked in his penthouse overlooking Central Park. Rarely leaving. Barely living. The official story? Harris Schaefer was sick. Very sick. Chronic fatigue, the tabloids said. Some mysterious condition that left him bedridden. Attended by expensive doctors who made house calls most people couldn't imagine affording. Elina had cleaned his penthouse for 6 months. Every Tuesday and Friday. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. She had her own code to the private elevator. The one that opened directly into his 8,000 square foot palace of marble and glass. She rarely saw Harris himself. Just glimpses of him shuffling between rooms. Pale. Drawn. Moving like a ghost. He never spoke to her beyond a quiet nod. His assistant, Wes Paul, handled everything. Wes was different from the others. Young, maybe 30, with kind eyes that actually saw her. He greeted her by name. Asked about her daughter Sophia. Left generous tips beyond her already excellent pay. How's Sophia doing with her college applications? Wes asked that Friday morning as Elina arrived with her cleaning supplies. Stressed, Elina admitted with a small smile. Waiting to hear from NYU. That's her dream school. She'll get in, Wes said warmly. I've seen her artwork on your phone. She's incredibly talented. It was a small kindness. But in a world where she was usually furniture, it meant everything. Wes's expression shifted. Mr. Schaefer is having a particularly bad day. He's in his bedroom with Dr. Miranda. Try to keep noise down in that wing. Of course. Dr. Eric Miranda was Harris's primary physician. Serious. 50s. Visited at least 3 times a week. He'd perfected the art of looking through Elina as if she didn't exist. As Wes disappeared into Harris's office, Elina began her routine. Kitchen first. A chef's paradise that rarely got used. Then the living room with floor-to-ceiling windows. Guest bedrooms that stayed immaculate because no one ever stayed. The home gym showing 0 signs of use. Finally, the East Wing. Harris's private suite. His bedroom door was closed. Muffled voices inside. Following Wes's instructions, she moved quietly to the hallway bathroom. That's when she saw it. Blood on the white marble sink. Elina's stomach dropped. Her cloth hovered over the stain. She'd cleaned enough wealthy homes to know messy accidents. But this didn't look like one. It wasn't the first time she'd found blood here. Harris was sick after all. But something felt wrong. The blood was fresh, still slightly wet. And this was the guest bathroom, not Harris's private suite. Her heart picked up speed. She cleaned it carefully, her mind working. Why would Dr. Miranda be bleeding? She continued, but now her eyes were scanning. Really looking. In the study. A coffee cup stained with blood at the rim. In the second guest bedroom. Drops on the carpet leading to the window. Small, but definitely there. Her hands started trembling as she scrubbed. When she finished and returned to the living area, Wes was waiting with her payment. Cash as always, plus an extra $100 bill. Thank you, Wes. Have a great weekend, and good luck to Sophia. The elevator descended. Elina stared at her reflection in the mirrored walls, her pulse still racing. Blood in multiple rooms. Fresh blood. And Harris supposedly bedridden all day. Stay in your lane, she told herself. You're just the cleaning lady. But that weekend, sleep didn't come easily. She kept seeing the blood, the strange patterns, the wrongness of it all, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was happening in that penthouse. Monday crawled by in a fog. Elina dropped Sophia at school, endured her usual clients, a demanding hedge fund wife who found dust where none existed, a tech entrepreneur who left passive-aggressive notes about things only he could see. But her mind stayed on Harris Schaefer's penthouse. The blood, the silence, the ghost of a man shuffling through marble halls. Tuesday morning arrived gray and drizzling, the kind of rain that makes New York feel like it's mourning something. As the elevator rose to the 47th floor, Elina felt dread coiling in her stomach. The doors opened. No, Wes. That was unusual. Hello? She called softly into the silence. Nothing. The penthouse felt empty. Too empty. No coffee cups. No scattered papers. No signs anyone had been there over the weekend. Then she heard it. A low moan from Harris's bedroom. Elina froze, her cleaning caddy hanging from trembling fingers. It wasn't her place to check. But what if he'd fallen? What if he needed help? She approached slowly, heart hammering against her ribs. Mr. Schaefer? Her voice cracked. Are you all right? It's Elina. Another moan. Weaker. She pushed the door open. The room was dark, curtains blocking the gray daylight. Took her eyes a moment to adjust. Harris was in bed. But he looked worse than she'd ever seen him. His skin had a grayish pallor. He trembled beneath expensive sheets. His eyes were half closed, unfocused, like he was somewhere far away. Mr. Schaefer? Elina's voice shook. Should I call Dr. Miranda? Should I call 911? His eyes found hers. For just a moment they cleared. His lips moved. She had to lean in to hear. No, doctors, he whispered, each word an effort. Water. Just water. Elina rushed to his bathroom, filled a glass with filtered water, and brought it back. She helped him sit up, shocked by how light he felt, how fragile, like he was made of paper and air. Thank you, he breathed. His eyes closed again. Elina stood frozen, uncertainty paralyzing her. She should call someone. Wes, Dr. Miranda, an ambulance. But he'd said no doctors. Why would he say that? She pulled out her phone to at least text Wes when she heard it. The elevator. Rising. Relief flooded through her. She hurried from the bedroom, closing the door quietly behind her. But it wasn't Wes who stepped out. It was a woman Elina had never seen before. Mid-30s. Striking. Sharp features. Navy suit that screamed power and money. Her heels clicked like gunshots against the marble. She strode in like she owned the place. Her eyes found Elina and went cold. Who are you? The woman's voice could cut glass. I'm the cleaning service. Elina's mouth went dry. Elina Rollins. I come Tuesdays and Fridays. Where's Wes? I don't know. He wasn't here when I arrived. The woman's eyes narrowed. She pulled out her phone, made a call. Wes, where are you? Her tone was ice. I see. No, don't come back. She ended the call and turned that cold gaze back on Elina. Leave. Now. But I just started. You heard me. Something in Elina shifted. Maybe it was Harris's gray face. Maybe it was the blood she'd found. Maybe she was just tired of being invisible. She stood her ground. Mr. Schaefer is in his bedroom. He seems very sick. He asked for water. Someone should. I'm perfectly capable of caring for my brother. The woman stepped closer, invading her space. Leave, or security will remove you. Brother? Elina had never heard Harris mention a sister, but she knew when she wasn't wanted. She gathered her supplies with shaking hands and stepped into the elevator. As the doors closed, she saw the woman pull out a different phone, not the one she'd used before, and make another call. Her voice was low, but Elina caught 2 words before the elevator descended. It's done. That evening, Elina did what she'd never done before. She Googled Harris Schaefer. Articles about business success, philanthropy, his mysterious illness. Images of him at conferences and galas, looking vibrant and healthy. That was before, obviously. Then she found it. 3 years old. Schaefer family drama. Tech billionaire's sister contests mental competency in court. Elina's breath caught. Harris's sister, Daphne Cantrell, had tried to have him declared mentally incompetent. She'd claimed his erratic behavior and conspiracy theories were evidence of declining mental capacity. She'd sought conservatorship over his fortune. Harris had won. Doctors testified to his soundness. Colleagues backed him up. Daphne was painted as a greedy sister trying to steal her brother's billions. After that, nothing. No reconciliation. No family photos. Until today, when Daphne showed up like she owned the place. Elina stared at the screen, that cold feeling settling deeper. Wednesday morning, Elina was scrubbing a Brooklyn Heights brownstone when her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. Hello? Elina? It's Wes. Wes Paul. His voice sounded wrong. Strained. Scared. Wes? Are you okay? That woman yesterday. I need to meet you. Today. Coffee shop on 73rd and Lexington. Blue awning. 1 o'clock. Elina's heart raced. What's going on? Not on the phone. Please. It's important. He hung up. Elina stood in someone else's kitchen. Sponge dripping in her hand. Mind spinning. At 12:45, she took the subway to the Upper East Side. The coffee shop sold $8 lattes to tourists and trophy wives. Elina ordered regular coffee, still $4.50, which was insane, and found a back table. Wes arrived at 1:02. He looked terrible. Hair disheveled. Dark circles under his eyes. Like he hadn't slept in days. He slid into the seat and leaned in, voice low. She fired me. Security escorted me out like I was a criminal. Can she do that? She has medical power of attorney. His hands shook. But Elina, Harris would never give her that power. Never. Not after what she tried to do. The court case, Elina said quietly. I read about it. Wes nodded, jaw tight. She tried to steal his fortune by having him declared incompetent. He cut her out completely. His voice cracked. And now she has legal control? It doesn't make sense. Maybe he's sicker than we knew. No. Wes was absolute. I've worked for him 8 years. I know him. He'd rather die than let Daphne control anything. The word die hung between them like smoke. Elina. His voice dropped to barely a whisper. I think she's hurting him. I think she's poisoning him. Elina's mouth went dry. That's serious. I know. That's why I need your help. My help. Panic rose in her chest. Wes, you're still on the schedule. You have access I don't. He pulled out an envelope, slid it across the table. $5,000. Just check on him. Tell me what you see. Elina stared at it like it might burn her. I can't take your money. It's from an emergency account Harris set up. He trusted me to use it if something happened. Wes's eyes were desperate. Please. You might be the only person who can help him. Elina thought about Sophia. College bills. The stack of notices on their counter. $5,000 would change everything. But more than that, she thought about Harris's trembling hand. His desperate whisper. No doctors. Had he been trying to warn her? Okay. She heard herself say. Friday. I'll check on him. Wes exhaled in relief. Be careful. Daphne's dangerous. Dangerous how? Her wife has connections. Security firms. Private investigators. People who make problems disappear. He stood. Call me after. Use a payphone if you can. He left the envelope on the table and walked out. Elina sat there, staring at it, knowing that picking it up would change everything. She picked it up. Friday morning arrived unseasonably warm. Elina dressed in her uniform, comfortable pants, plain shirt with her company logo, and took the subway to the Upper East Side. The envelope was hidden in Sophia's old toy box. The elevator ride felt like ascending into darkness. The doors opened. Silence. "Hello," her voice echoed. "It's Elina from the cleaning service." Footsteps. From Harris's office. Daphne appeared. Today, white cashmere and tailored pants that cost more than Elina's car. "Oh, you." Daphne's voice was flat. "Fine. Clean. But stay out of the East Wing. Harris is sleeping." "Of course, Mrs. Luna." Daphne's eyes scanned her, calculating. "You were here Tuesday." "Yes, ma'am." "Wes Paul. Has he contacted you?" "No, ma'am." "Good." Daphne stepped closer, too close. "He was dismissed for theft. If he calls, contact the police." The lie was so smooth Elina almost believed it. "I will. Start with the West Wing." Daphne turned away. "Stay out of the East." Elina began cleaning, but her heart pounded. Her hands shook. She was thinking, planning. She needed to see Harris when Daphne wasn't there. An hour passed. Then two. She could hear Daphne on calls in the office. Voice sharp, cold. Then a gift. Daphne emerged. "I have a meeting. 1 hour." She fixed Elina with a hard stare. "Remember, East Wing is off limits." "Yes, ma'am." Elina waited for the elevator to descend. Counted to 60. Then moved toward Harris's bedroom. The door was closed. She knocked softly. "Mr. Schaefer?" Nothing. She tried the handle. Locked. Why would it be locked? Then she remembered. Skeleton keys in the kitchen. By the wine fridge. She rushed there, grabbed the brass ring, hurried back. The third key worked. The bedroom was dark. Curtains drawn. Her eyes adjusted slowly. Harris was in bed. Worse than Tuesday. Worse than she could have imagined. His breathing was shallow, labored. And 4 drip attached to his arm, bag hanging from a portable stand. "Mr. Schaefer?" She approached, legs shaking. "Harris." His eyes fluttered. Unfocused. Lost. "It's Elina. Wes asked me to check on you." At Wes's name, something sparked in his eyes. She looked at the 4-bag. Clear liquid. No label. Hospitals always label 4 bags. Always. An unlabeled one meant someone didn't want anyone knowing what was inside. On the nightstand, 3 pill bottles. She picked them up one by one. Lorazepam. Diphenhydramine. Promethazine. Even without medical training, Elina knew these names from commercials, from caring for her elderly mother years ago. These were sedatives. Strong ones. Her phone buzzed. She jumped. Text from Wes. "Are you there?" She photographed the 4-bag. The pills. Texted back. "Very sick. Locked in. Sedatives. Unlabeled 4. Response immediate. Get out. Now." Elina looked at Harris's face. The shell of a man. She reached for the 4-line, then hesitated, terrified of hurting him. What if she did it wrong? What if she made things worse? But looking at him, barely conscious, barely alive, she knew she had to try. "I'm taking this out. Hold still." Harris's eyes widened. He managed a tiny nod. She found the tape, peeled it back with trembling fingers. Slowly, so slowly, withdrew the needle, praying she wouldn't hurt him. A bead of blood appeared. She pressed tissue against it, her hands shaking violently. "I'm getting help. Real help. I promise." Harris's hand shot out. Sudden strength. Grasping her wrist. His mouth worked. Finally, sound came. "Sister, poison me." The words hit like a physical blow. Then, the elevator. Rising. Daphne was back early. Terror flooded through Elina. She disconnected the 4-bag, shoved it under the bed, ran for the door, locked it with shaking hands, tried to return the keys to the kitchen. She was halfway there when Daphne's voice cut through the air. "Stop!" Elina froze. Daphne stood by the elevator, eyes locked on the brass keys. Those were on the hook. They were on the floor. I was. Daphne crossed the space in seconds. "You went into his room." "No, Don't lie to me." Daphne's voice was ice. "Leave. Now. And don't come back. Mr. Schaefer needs help." What Mr. Schaefer needs is none of your concern. Daphne pulled out her phone. I'm calling your company. You're terminated. If you set foot here again, I'll have you arrested. Elina wanted to fight, to scream, to call the police right now. But Daphne's eyes held something that made her blood run cold. A promise of consequences, of power wielded without mercy. She gathered her supplies and stepped into the elevator. As the doors closed, she saw Daphne pull out that other phone again. The one she used for calls she didn't want anyone hearing. In the descending elevator, Elina called Wes with trembling fingers. She caught me, fired me. Her voice shook. But Wes, Harris spoke. He said she's poisoning him. Silence. Then we go to the police. And tell them what? A sick man whispered something? They'll think I'm crazy. Then we get proof, Wes said. Real proof. Elina stepped into sunshine, her mind already working. The 4-bag. I hid it under the bed. If we can get it tested. How? You're banned. Not officially. Not yet. Her voice steadied. These things take time. Process paperwork. Find replacements. I might still have one more chance. Elina, if you're caught, then I'm caught. But Harris will be safe. She took a breath. Some things are worth the risk. If you're still watching right now, you're exactly the kind of viewer I love. Subscribe so I can keep giving you stories that touch your heart. Hit that bell so you never miss what happens next. The Midtown Library had always been Elina's sanctuary. Now she sat at a computer terminal, searching for information that might save a life. Lorazepam, benzodiazepine, for anxiety. High doses cause extreme sedation, confusion, memory loss. Diphenhydramine, antihistamine. Large amounts cause drowsiness, disorientation, inability to think clearly. Promethazine, another sedating antihistamine. Elina's stomach turned. Together, these drugs would leave someone barely conscious. Unable to speak clearly. Unable to fight back. Unable to tell anyone what was happening. Her phone rang. Wes, I found something. His voice was tight. Old files. 6 months ago, Harris had me research elder financial abuse. Cases where family members slowly incapacitate relatives to steal their money. 6 months ago, Elina's throat closed. When I started working for him. When he started getting sick. Wes's voice cracked. He knew something was wrong. He was trying to understand it. Why didn't he go to the police? Because Daphne's smart. Everything looks legal. Medical power of attorney. Doctors. Records. If Harris accused her without proof, she'd use it as evidence he was mentally unstable. Elina processed this. So she's been drugging him, making him sicker, documenting everything to make it look natural. And when he dies, she inherits billions. We need to get him out. We can't. Not legally. Wes paused. But if we get that 4-bag tested, we have proof. I'll go Tuesday morning, early, before Daphne arrives. This is dangerous. I know. Elina's voice was steel. But I'm doing it anyway. Tuesday morning. Cold and gray. Elina met Wes and his nurse friend, Maria Rodriguez, at 6:50 a.m. The new doorman barely looked up. Cleaning service. He waved them through. In the elevator, Maria checked her medical bag. If he's as bad as you say, paramedics will be here in minutes. The elevator rose. Elina entered the code, holding her breath. The doors opened. Thank God. Daphne hadn't changed it. The apartment was dark. They moved quickly. Harris's bedroom. He was there, still breathing, barely. Maria went to work, checking vitals, examining him, testing blood sugar, photographing medications. My God, she whispered. This combination, this isn't medicine. This is murder. Can you call an ambulance? Absolutely. This man needs emergency intervention. Maria pulled out her phone. Then, the elevator. Ascending. Elina's blood froze. She's early. How long until help arrives? 10, maybe 15 minutes. We keep her away from him, Elina said. Whatever it takes. The elevator dinged. They stepped into the living room as Daphne emerged. She stopped dead. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then Daphne's face transformed. Fury replacing surprise. "Get out." Her voice was deadly calm. "All of you. I'm a registered nurse." Maria stepped forward. "I've assessed Harris Schaefer. He's suffering from acute drug toxicity. An ambulance is coming." Daphne's mask cracked. Something savage beneath. "You have no authority." "I have the authority to intervene in life-threatening situations." Maria held up her phone. "I've documented everything. The state medical board has been notified." Daphne's jaw clenched. "My lawyers will destroy you." "The police have your financial records," Wes said quietly. "They know what you've done." Daphne stared, then laughed, harsh and bitter. "You think you've won?" Her voice rose. "You have no idea what it's like. His shadow. His success. Everything handed to him while I got nothing." "So you tried to kill him?" Elina's voice shook. "I tried to take what should have been mine." Daphne's composure shattered. "He owed me. He owed me everything." "He owed you nothing," Wes said. "He was your brother." Daphne moved toward the bedroom. All three of them blocked her path. "Move." "No," Elina said. Then sirens. Beautiful, wonderful sirens. Daphne's face went white. And it was over. Mount Sinai Hospital. Real doctors. Real care. They cleared the drugs from Harris's system over 3 weeks. The 4-bag tested positive for lorazepam and diphenhydramine in dangerous concentrations. Dr. Miranda was arrested. He broke quickly, detailing Daphne's proposition. $2 million to slowly incapacitate her brother. The medical power of attorney was forged, signed when Harris was too drugged to know what he was doing. Daphne's wife filed for divorce. Harris recovered slowly. Withdrawal, confusion, weakness. But he improved. Elina visited on a Thursday with flowers she couldn't really afford. Harris was sitting up, still pale and thin, but with clarity in his eyes. "Elina." His voice was rough but warm. "They told me what you did. I just couldn't. You saved my life." He smiled. "You and Wes. When everyone else saw a sick man, you saw the truth. How do you feel?" "Like I've been asleep for a year." He shifted. "Full recovery will take time. But I'll make it. Because of you. I'm glad you're okay. Elina, your daughter. Sophia. NYU, right?" She nodded. "I sit on their board. Let me make a call. Fair review of her application. That's all." Tears stung her eyes. "That would mean everything. And I'm starting a foundation. For people being exploited by family. Investigation funding. Legal support." He looked at her seriously. "I want you to run it." "Me? But you saw what everyone missed. You fought when it was easier to look away." His smile was warm. "That's not something you learn in business school." She left the hospital in a daze. 3 months later, Daphne sat at the defense table in designer clothes, face a cold mask. The prosecution was devastating. Financial records, millions stolen, fake bills, offshore transfers. Dr. Miranda testified. Every conversation, every payment, every dose. "She said it would look natural," he said flatly. "A slow decline. No one would question it." Maria testified about the medications. The deliberate combinations designed to sedate without killing. "I've never seen anything like it," Maria said. "Calculated torture." When Elina testified, her legs shook. "The blood first made me suspicious," she said. "Then seeing how sick he was. How drugged." She looked at the jury. "I'm just a cleaning lady. Who would believe me?" But I couldn't look away. "Why not?" "Because some things are more important than staying invisible." The defense tried to paint her as money-hungry, attention-seeking. "You took $5,000? To check on his welfare, yes. For money. I have a daughter. College costs money." Elina met his eyes. "But I would have done it anyway. The money just made it possible. You broke in. I used my employee access code." She leaned forward. "And if I hadn't, Harris Schaefer would be dead. So yes, I'd do it again." The defense attorney had no response. Harris testified about Daphne's threat years ago. One way or another, I'll get what's mine, even if I have to wait for you to die. I thought she was just angry, Harris said. I didn't realize she meant it literally. The jury deliberated 6 hours. Guilty. All counts. When the verdict was read, Daphne's mask shattered. She screamed, had to be physically restrained. Elina watched from the gallery, Wes beside her. It's over, Wes whispered. Yeah, Elina said. It really is. Sentencing. Daphne got 25 years. Dr. Miranda got 15. Outside the courthouse afterward, reporters swarmed. Harris ignored them, stopped when he saw Elina and Wes. Coffee, he said. Somewhere quiet. They ended up at a Queen's diner. The kind Harris probably hadn't seen in decades. He ordered coffee and pie, looked more relaxed than ever. I've been thinking, he said, about how close I came, about how many others might be in similar situations. That's why we started the foundation, Wes said. I want to do more. $200 million endowment. For elder advocacy, legal aid, medical oversight, investigation resources. Elina nearly choked. 200 million? A fraction of what Daphne tried to steal. Fitting to use it helping others. He smiled. And I want to expand. More staff. Other cities. This isn't just a New York problem. That's incredible, Wes said. Harris turned to Elina. I also want a scholarship program. For children of service workers. Cleaners, doormen, delivery people. The invisible workforce. His eyes were warm. People who see everything but get ignored. Elina felt tears threatening. Sophia will be the first recipient. Full ride to NYU. Plus living expenses and art supplies. The tears came. You don't have to. I want to. He took her hand. You saved my life. Not because you had to. Because it was right. Because you saw someone suffering and refused to look away. He squeezed gently. That's the kind of person I want to honor. They sat in that diner for 2 hours. Talking. Planning. Dreaming. When they left, it was dark. City lights sparkling like promises. Harris insisted on a regular taxi instead of his car service. I've been separated from real life too long, he said. Time to rejoin the world. As they said goodbye, Harris hugged Elina. A real hug. Thank you, he whispered, for seeing me when I was invisible too. 1 year later, the Schaefer Foundation had expanded to 5 cities. 83 families helped. 40 million recovered. 12 people behind bars. Sophia thrived at NYU. Dean's List. Gallery exhibition. Happy. Elina ran the foundation with Wes. Traveled. Spoke. Trained investigators. CNN. NPR. The New York Times. The invisible cleaning lady was invisible no more. But sometimes she missed it. The quiet. The simplicity. So one Tuesday, she put on old jeans, grabbed supplies, and took the subway to her old neighborhood. She knocked on Mrs. Chen's door. The elderly woman's face lit up. Elina, I saw you on the news. I was wondering, do you still need help cleaning? Mrs. Chen looked confused. But you're famous now. Why would you? Because I miss it sometimes. The work. Elina smiled. And you were always kind. Always saw me. I'd like to return the favor. No charge. Mrs. Chen's eyes filled with tears. For 3 hours, Elina cleaned. And it felt good. Grounding. Real. Afterward, they shared jasmine tea in Mrs. Chen's tiny kitchen. I worried about you, Mrs. Chen said. All those rich people. I worried they didn't treat you right. Some did. Some didn't. Elina thought about Harris, about Wes. But I learned something important. What's that? Being invisible isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's a superpower. She smiled. Invisible people see things others miss. Hear things others don't. And sometimes, Mrs. Chan added wisely, invisible people are the only ones brave enough to speak truth. Yes, Elina said. Exactly that. That evening, the Foundation's first annual gala. Manhattan's elite mingled. People who would have looked through her a year ago now wanted to shake her hand. Harris took the stage. "A year ago I was dying," he said simply. "Slowly poisoned by someone I should have trusted. I was invisible in my own life." The room went silent. But someone saw me. Someone invisible herself. Elina Rollins saved my life. Not because she had to, but because she has something many in this room have forgotten. He paused. The courage to see suffering and act. Even when it's risky. Even when no one's watching. Applause began. Then swelled. People stood. Elina felt her face flush. She wanted to disappear again, to be invisible. But Sophia was beside her, squeezing her hand, beaming with pride. Wes was grinning from the next table. Harris was looking at her with such genuine gratitude. So she stood, accepted the applause, let herself be seen. When she took the stage, the room quieted. She looked out at all these powerful people. People who could change the world with a signature, a phone call, a donation. "I'm not good at speeches," she began. "I'm better at scrubbing floors." Polite laughter. "But I need to tell you something important." She took a breath. "There are invisible people all around you. People who clean your offices, deliver your packages, serve your coffee. People you walk past every day without really seeing." She let that sink in. Right now, some of those invisible people are suffering, being exploited, abused, stolen from, and they have no voice, no power, no way to fight back. Her voice strengthened. "So I'm asking you, all of you powerful, wealthy, influential people, to start seeing them. Really seeing them, not as servants or help, but as human beings with families and dreams and value." She looked directly at the audience. Because the next person who needs saving might be right in front of you, cleaning your apartment, serving your lunch. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not really seeing them, you'll miss it. She paused. "And someone will die because you looked away." The silence was absolute. Then the applause started. But different this time. Not polite. Real. Moved. Shaken. As Elina left the stage, she caught sight of herself in a mirrored column. She looked different. Confident. Strong. Visible. But in her heart, she was still the same person who'd found blood on silk sheets and refused to ignore it. Still the cleaning lady who saw what others missed. Still invisible in the ways that mattered most. And that was exactly how she wanted it. 5 years later, Elina stood in a university auditorium giving a lecture to nursing students. The Schaefer Foundation had become national. Over 1,000 families helped. Laws changed in 15 states. Thousands of professionals trained to spot abuse. But she still remembered every detail of that first case. After the lecture, a young woman approached. Maybe 22, nervous. "Ms. Rollins? I'm a nursing student. Your story changed how I see my future patients." "How so?" "I used to think being a good nurse meant knowing medicine, understanding diseases, following protocols." The young woman's eyes were bright. "But you taught me that sometimes it means seeing what others don't. Asking questions when something feels wrong." Elina smiled. "What's your name?" "Keisha." "Keisha Williams." "Well, Keisha Williams, the world needs more nurses like you. Nurses who pay attention, who see patients as people, not cases." "That's what I want to be," Keisha said earnestly. "Someone who notices, who cares. Like you." After Keisha left, Elina stood in the empty auditorium. She thought about all the lives changed because she'd refused to look away. Her phone buzzed. "Sophia, so proud of you, Mom. Love you. Wes, great lecture. Harris wants to know if you're free for dinner Thursday." Harris himself. "Stop by when you're in the city. I have someone I want you to meet." Another potential case. Elina smiled. The work never ended. There would always be more people to save, more suffering to expose, more powerful people who thought they could hurt the vulnerable. But now there were people watching. People who'd learned to see. The invisible army, Wes called them. People who noticed what others missed. Elina gathered her notes, turned off the lights, and stepped into the evening. Somewhere in this city, someone was being hurt by someone they trusted. Someone was calling for help in ways too quiet to hear. But somewhere else, someone was paying attention. Someone was refusing to look away. Someone was brave enough to see. And that made all the difference. What an incredible journey. From an invisible cleaning lady to a hero who changed countless lives. All because she refused to look away when something felt wrong. This story reminds us that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they carry cleaning supplies. Sometimes they're the people society has taught us not to see. So here's my question for you. Who are the invisible people in your life? The ones who serve you, help you, work around you every day? Are you really seeing them? Are you paying attention? Have you ever noticed something wrong that everyone else missed? Have you ever had to choose between staying safe and doing what's right? Drop your story in the comments below. If the story moved you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss these powerful stories. Until next time, stay observant, stay brave, and never underestimate the power of one person who refuses to be silent.